What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here.
You know each other?
We met briefly. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for
I bump into her every time
It's a small island, detective.
You're investigating Francis' death.
I spoke to Francis before he died.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger. How was he? Were you present?
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your husband.
I do not like the tone of your allusion, sir. I had long months to weep every tear in my body.
昨
And to
天才
accept,
死
if
而
not
已，
my
漫
fate,
长的数月
at
中。
least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more. Rest assured, however, my anger is... I need to understand. Did you not do anything?
It's terrible what happened to your husband, but I had nothing to do with it. I was injured, and I came across him in the hospital.
Injured? Well, I'm delighted to see not everybody enjoyed such a...
I suppose Fuller does do miracles.
Luck is obviously... Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker.
But you do know what kind...
I am no fool.
How did you come to meet Sarah?
We were the wealthiest and most influential. And when Charles returned from Europe, he bought many of her works over the last...
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins?
Well, you can imagine. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting than...
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself.
It is my only lead at the...
Then you have paid no... For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again.
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders.
What?
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives. A house of artists.
Hello?
A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. A house of artists. Xander's accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? She despises Sarah Hawkins, but it's the painting she truly hates. Why? The Shambler. I need to see it. Did she really care for him after all? Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
A strange Amerindian pendant. I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing. An old diary.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than what have you come looking for in this gallery?
I'm not here to cause trouble, if that's what...
Worry me. If the last beating wasn't enough for you, but as long as you keep out of my way...
There's more than that, miss.
So people have been talking behind my back, but it stays cat for...
You knew the Sanders?
Irene is a friend of mine.
And you?
I'm here on business. She doesn't intend to...
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many a choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me.
Hả?
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
不是啊，我不能拿吗？
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
Oh, 他是个艺术家。
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Hả? 我等一下要躲什么吗？ Hello？ 那至少让我拿一把武器防身吧。
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
等一下，可是不行吗？Hello？ 河马。
What the hell was that?
还有2点。
What the hell was that?
问题没有说现在要干嘛。
What the hell was that? Down. This dagger looks different.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your...
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back. You knew.
What are you talking? Think yourself lucky that I...
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. And by the way...
It saved my life.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sam.
The creature. This antique dealer.
You've got your spunk back.
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century. An old diary. What a strange amulet. I have a feeling I'd better not touch it.
Kawaii ne.
What happened here? Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
有人偷跑进来。
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably. No sign of struggle. If the burglar smashed this jar, it wasn't intentionally. Was he hurt then?
所以他要找什么？
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins? What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to this
死灵之书
case. Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
按密码，3个圆筒在唱片中找到。
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet? Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills? Arkham editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. Never heard of him. How many volumes are there in this collection? Another volume by Arkham Editions. Arkham Editions. How many volumes are there in this collection? Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them. Things are not looking good. A kind of chalice.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed,
鲜红的
set
低
in
点
divine
如同
gold.
宝石。
To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets. I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard
棋
of the gods.
盘
Let those of us who are still standing protect our
白
white
皇后
queen from their
红白
dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny. Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seems
Azathoth
particularly
是
relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
The Queen has little protection.